Hey guys, it's me Evelyn, and I was requesting how to do a blended poster tutorial. As you see, the image in front of you is the final product. This is just something I did randomly. As you see, my edges aren't perfect, they're really feathered out and they're blended. It's a blended poster. So let's go ahead and get started. I just have the images up that I use. I'm just going to close that one there. So I use this as a PSD. I can always reopen that one. I have henna, Sungyeol. I'm just going to go into my textures so I can go ahead and grab them when needed. So you're going to go to File and New, and you create a new desktop document. I create mine 1000 by 1000 just so that I have enough room to work with, and then I can crop it when I am done. Now first of all, you're going to want to go ahead and bring in the smaller image. My smaller image here is Sungyeol. So control, using my move tool, grabbing them and dragging them over. And you're going to want to feather them out. There's a lot of ways you can do it. You can use a round brush tool and a layer mask and feather around, or you can use a lasso tool. Just randomly select around his edges but not too close. Something like I'm doing right here in front of you. Then I'm just going to go ahead and right click and feather. I'm going to leave it about 50% pixels. It's going to give me this here, and then on the background image I'm going to select inverse. I have black as my background color. Press backspace on my keyboard to delete, and I'm going to do it several times. And when I do that, you can see that a lot of Sungyeol is missing. To bring back its color, you can use a white round tool, a brush tool, opacity at like 50, and you're going to start painting in areas of him where you want to bring back his color. And I'm just going to go ahead and just do that for this here. And I'm just going to bring in his color down to the arms. So I'm going to fade out his bottom part anyway. So far, I just want to bring in some of the color because we don't want him to be too faded out. And then you can press X on the keyboard to invert the colors. So that black is your main color, so you can go ahead and get in the edges that you want erased. Something like this here. So once we have that done, we're going to bring in our female person. I'm using this photo of Hyuna because she looks really innocent and the flowers fit in well. So grabbing over, as you can see, she is much more bigger than Sungyeol if I just put her behind him. So I'm going to control T to transform, locking the chain link. I'm going to scale her down to hopefully meet up with him. Now she's too small, so control T and drag her up. That she's kind of fitting. Just scale it down just a little bit more. Kind of want her face to match with his. So I'm kind of looking around and I'm happy with what I have. So I'm dragging her on top, and I'm going to do the same for her, adding the layer mask. Getting my last tool, I'm just going to start where his body ended. I'm just going to go ahead like so. As you can see, I'm not great with this here. So we have something like this. If you have an extra point that you want to get rid of, you hold Alt and then just select it to get rid of it. Right click, select feather, not select inverse, but feather. 50 again. I have this here, and then select inverse. And on my layer mask, having black as my color, press delete. And I'm just going to do like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my white tool, my brush tool, using white and painting in more of henna. The flower on the end can be blurred out. I don't mind that, but I want to paint in as much of her as I can. So this is the basic of blending. You can do it any other way you want. So now that we have this here, I'm going to make my brush bigger size, about maybe 400, like so. I'm going to zoom out using opacity 100, using black as my background color. I'm just going to blend in Hyena's bottom, and same with Sungyeol, so that they're both blended in. Gonna move them to the center like so. Then you grab my rectangle marquee tool, and I'm going to crop. Image and crop. So now that we have this done, we're going to build our background. Now I have this one image here as my background. This one here, just a random old house. I'm going to click and drag, and as you can see it pulls it on top. I'm going to bring it to the bottom and have it centered, and this is what I use to kind of clean up their images as well if it's too messy, as if like you can see the building through them. Making my brush tool smaller. I have my opacity up high, so make sure you have the white as a color. I'm going to kind of clean up right around here. Not trying to touch the edges too much. I'm just going in for a cleanup. And remember, you're on the layer of certain people, so I'm on Hannah's layer right now. So I'm just going to bring in that. Then I'm going to Sangyeol's, and I'm going to do the same for him as well. Gonna really clean up the edge here. And you can make your brush semi-hard so that you can get sharper lines when you do this as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and bring in the hair a little bit more, and then do the same for Hannah a little bit. Just give it more harshness. Okay, so now we have base, and we're gonna build our background again. So, stock textures. I used just 2 other textures for the background. I used a fantasy looking one, which is use this one here and then this one here. So I'm going to click and drag them into Photoshop, opening new tabs. I'm going to bring this one here, and as you can see it's just a random image. Some people are at the bottom. Didn't really use that, so I'm just going to click and drag it onto my background. And I'm just going to use this part here, which is just of the image I'm kind of at the bottom. And I'm going to delete the bottom of it, so using my round brush tool. Big size, not so big. Hardness down, and a bit bigger. I'm going to click and hold shift to make a straight line using black, and just delete that so that it fades in softly. It's a bit too big of a brush, so. And I just kind of paste in where the parts are showing up. Then I use this flower one and drag it over, and I drag this one to the top. And then I have it set right about here. Adding a layer mask again. I'm just going to fade it down with black as a background color, or foreground color. When I get to right here, I'm going to click and hold shift so I have a straight line, and I'm just going to fade it down as much as I can. Okay, so now we have our background basis. Now we're going to do a bit of coloring. Now we're going to want to match Hannah and Sangyeol's images color. As you can see, his color is a bit brighter than Hannah's, so you're going to want to grab the color picker tool and pick a bright color off of his, and then go and pick one of Hannah's dark colors, like so. And then above all images, you're going to go ahead and go to your black and white circle here at the bottom, and you're going to click get and click gradient map, and it's going to have those colors selected automatically. Click OK, and then you set just soft light to blend the colors. But now Hannah's color, she's a bit darker than him. I'm going to go ahead and just brighten up her face more, so I'm going to grab the tan color from that I used on Sangyeol, that I got from Sangyeol's image. Using brush tool, making it small, I'm going to just paste it onto her face, kind of like so. And then I'm going to set it to color dodge. And I pasted it actually on her image by accident, so make sure you make a new layer. And set to color dodge. And you see it's really bright, so I'm going to lower it down. So you just give her that brightening glow. And then we're going to brighten her image overall. Click brightness and contrast. I'm just going to lighten it up a bit. Fade out the contrast. And make sure it's only on. Make sure that only affects your layer you're going to go ahead and add a clipping mask, or you right click, create clipping mask, so that it only fixes Hannah's layer. So now that they match really well, now what we can do is add coloring. As you know, I used this PSD here, so I'm just going to go ahead and reuse it. I'm going to click the PSD coloring, which is in a group, and drag it over to their image and make sure it's on top. As you can see, it's really over brightening, so I'm going to lower the opacity a little bit. Then I'm going to add my own little gradient map on top, so I'm going to click gradient map, and I'm going to select this one here, click reverse, set it to soft light, and scale it down. And then I'm going to add another one, and it's going to be like a black and white one, a little more sepia toned. So something like that, and then I'm just going to lower the opacity, so it gives it this little washy feel. Now this isn't like identical to my other one, it's similar. So once you're done, you can add text. I don't have a text in mind, so I'm just going to leave it like that. You can add more textures on top or whatever, then you can save it and you're done. I hope you guys like this quick tutorial on how to blend. I know this tutorial is probably not quick, but I hope you guys like this tutorial. Comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.